capitalism causes monopolies. Well, if you're so afraid of monopolies that have actually never existed under capitalism, then why do you want to make a perfect monopoly by giving everything to the state? Also, capitalism gives us all the tools to get rid of monopolies. We can choose to not support the monopolies and start competing businesses. And even if they want to buy our competing business, we can simply refuse to sell it. Socialism is for the workers' rights. Well, let's look at two situations. Joe here doesn't like his working conditions, so he wants to change them. Under capitalism, he can change employer, go to a different business. Or he can start his own business if there is no businesses which give him the pay or the working conditions which he desires. Or C, he doesn't have to do either of those and he can go on strike. Now let's see what Joe can do under a socialist or a communist state. He can't start a competing business because it's not allowed. He can't change employer because there is only one employer and that is the state. And well, he might be able to go on strike, but the state has a military that it can bring to the streets and private companies don't have military, so I would rather strike under capitalism. Well, capitalism is bad for the environment. Let's look at it. Some of the countries with the best air qualities and who are doing the most for the environment, countries like Ireland or Nordic countries, they're all capitalist. North Korea is the best example of a socialist or a communist country that we have today. And it has one of the worst air qualities and one of the worst pollutions. Also, once again, capitalism gives us all the tools to do good for the environment. We can choose to support companies that only do good for the environment, that let third parties investigate their carbon emissions, and that truly do good innovation and don't pollute the air. Very nice. We need public health care and schooling. A great idea. The only problem is that it has nothing to do with socialism or capitalism. We have many capitalist countries with public schools and public health care, like the Nordic countries. Progressive taxation is good. Well, once again, it has nothing to do with capitalism or socialism. Even the most capitalist country in the world, which no socialist likes, called the United States of America, has progressive taxation. The rich don't pay tax. Well, it's not the system's fault that the laws don't get enforced, and also many of the rich people do pay taxes. History is wrong. It actually worked, but it's all lies in the history book. Let's look at it like this. Why did the East have to build the Berlin Wall? I mean, they had a problem where thousands of people were jumping to West Berlin to buy plane tickets to West Germany because they saw how much better the quality of life was under capitalism. The capitalist West did not have the same problem. That's why the East built the Berlin Wall. And also, if we just look at the Cold War, guess who won? Not the Soviets, not the socialists. Income inequality is wrong. If that's a position you want to take, sure. But you would have to explain why a journalist who in some way doesn't add anything important to society, he doesn't farm food, he doesn't build houses, he doesn't heal people like doctors do. Why should a journalist earn the same amount as a doctor, for example? I mean, some income inequality is simply explained by people doing a more important job. And supply and demand is pretty good at determining what is valuable and what isn't, and what jobs pay well and what don't. Also, once again, we can influence this. If you want to support your local farmer because you think he's not getting paid enough, go and buy his products at $5 for every milk carton if you want to. You're allowed to do that, but you're probably not gonna do that. So, once again, the question is, we get all the tools to fix this problem by supporting what we like and not supporting what we don't like. And that could be the pricing or the wages. We can choose that, hey, I'm not gonna support a company that doesn't pay more than $4,000 a month to its employees. You can do that choice under capitalism. So instead of complaining about capitalism, how about we make changes in our own lives and our own decisions which have real world impacts and can change the world?